Welcome back to Building Better Relationships in Construction. I'm Alex.
And I'm Sabrina. Today, we're on Chapter 40, Involving Clients in Solutions for Stronger Relationships. And remember, this podcast is based on the principles and practices found in the book, Building Better Relationships by Paul Schwinghammer, available in multiple formats, including audiobook on Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
In earlier episodes, we talked about disarming, empathy, questions, and explaining your perspective. Today, we're adding one more powerful layer, actively involving the client in the solution.
When a client is dissatisfied about design details, quality, or progress, you have a choice. You can either treat it as, I'll handle it, just leave it to me, or you can bring them into the decision-making process.
That second approach, turning them into a partner instead of a passive critic, is what we're diving into today.
From seller-client to partners.
A lot of builders get stuck in a one-way dynamic. We sell, they judge. We present, they approve, or complain. That's a fragile relationship.
A stronger model is partnership. We're working together to get the best outcome for their project. You're still the professional, but they're not just bystanders. They're participants.
Involving clients in solutions lowers resistance, increases their confidence in you, and often leads to better decisions because you understand what matters most to them.
And importantly, this isn't abdicating responsibility. You're not dumping problems in their lap. You're guiding them through structured choices. Using options, the mortar joint example.
Let's go back to our familiar scenario, wide mortar joints on a garage stem wall.
You've already disarmed by acknowledging the joints are wider, shown empathy and rephrased their concern. Asked questions. Explained what happened and why it looks this way.
Now comes the client involvement step. Instead of saying, here's what we're going to do, you present options and ask for their input.
For example, you might say, there are a couple of ways we can address the mortar joints to improve the look. One option is to tear down and relay the brick to make the joints narrower. The only caveat is that the new mortar might not match the existing color exactly, which could be noticeable. Would that be a concern for you?
That short statement does a lot. It engages them in the solution. It shows you respect their opinion. It lays out a clear option with pros and cons.
Then you add a second option, like, or if you prefer, we could leave it as it is. Over time, with exposure to sunlight, the mortar may fade and blend in more naturally, although we can't guarantee the exact appearance. Sometimes these differences become less noticeable as the wall weathers.
Now they have a real choice. More immediate correction with some risk of color mismatch. Or live with it, knowing time may soften the visual difference.
If they pick one, you can reinforce their ownership in a positive way. That makes sense. If you'd like us to remove the stem wall and relay it with cut bricks for a more uniform look, we're happy to do that. We want to make sure you're comfortable with the final decision. Why involving clients matters.
When you involve clients in picking a path forward, a few powerful things happen.
First, they feel respected and valued. You're not telling them what they should want. You're asking what matters most to them.
Second, they feel more in control. Construction can be stressful because clients often feel powerless. Participation reduces that anxiety.
Third, they're more likely to accept the outcome. Why? Because they helped design the solution. It wasn't just imposed on them.
That means fewer regrets and less second-guessing later. They're less likely to say, you should have done it differently, because they were there when the decision was made.
The psychology behind involvement.
There's a psychological side to this too. People naturally value what they help create.
When clients participate, their satisfaction goes up, their sense of fairness increases, their trust in you deepens.
And on the flip side, if you make all the decisions alone and something isn't exactly what they pictured, it's easy for them to feel ignored, steamrolled, or stuck with an outcome they never chose.
Involving them doesn't guarantee perfection, but it dramatically reduces the feeling of, this happened to me, and replaces it with, this is the choice we made together. Practical strategies to involve clients.
Let's make this concrete with a few habits you can build into your client conversations.
First, present clear options. Like in the mortar joint example, option A, rebuild with narrower joints, risk color mismatch. Option B, leave as is and let it weather. no disruption, but aesthetics may bother you for a while.
Second, ask open-ended questions. Questions like, what's most important to you in this situation? Appearance, schedule, or cost? How would you prefer to handle this, given those trade-offs?
Third, educate as you go. Explain implications. If we rebuild, here's the added time and potential look. If we leave it, here's what you can expect over the next year or two.
Fourth, respect their input, even if it's not your first choice. You might say, from a durability standpoint, both options are acceptable. Based on what you shared, I understand why you're leaning toward blank.
Fifth, document decisions. Confirm in writing. Just to recap, you've chosen to option, understanding trade-offs. We'll proceed on that basis.
That protects everyone and reinforces that this was a collaborative, transparent decision.
Turning issues into relationship strengtheners.
When you involve clients in solutions, you're doing more than fixing a problem. You're strengthening the relationship.
They walk away thinking, they explained it. They gave us options. They asked what we preferred. We decided together.
That feeling increases. Loyalty. Willingness to overlook small imperfections. Comfort, recommending you to friends and family.
And internally, your own mindset shifts too. Instead of dreading client complaints, you start seeing them as, okay, here's a chance to educate, involve, and build trust. Your next step.
In your next tough conversation with a client, ask yourself, have I given them real options and invited them into the solution? Or am I just telling them what I'll do?
Try this simple progression. 1. Explain clearly what happened. 2. Lay out 2 or 3 realistic options with pros and cons. 3. Ask, given what we've talked about, what feels best to you?
When you do this consistently, you're no longer just the builder or the contractor. You're a trusted partner.
That's Chapter 40 of Building Better Relationships in Construction, involving clients in solutions for stronger relationships.
Share this with your PMs, supers, and even office staff, anyone who talks through options with clients.
I'm Sabrina.
And I'm Alex. Remember, when you invite clients into the solution, you don't just fix problems. You build partnerships that last.